This is a video to show you how to analyze a video in Logger Pro. So we're going to get started here. You need to open up Logger Pro, and when you open up Logger Pro, it should just be a blank page like this. And now we need to insert the movie into Logger Pro. You might be tempted to do File Open, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to come over to Insert, Movie, and then you're going to need to find the movie on your computer. Mine are on my desktop in a file called Buggy Videos. I'll just go for period 1 videos, and I'm just going to grab group 1, but you should grab your own video from your group. And then just like that, your video should pop up, and we need to get ready to analyze. So it's a little bit of a clunky program. It's kind of old. You can move this window around. You can resize it on the corners over here by like clicking and dragging and moving it around. It's a little bit slow. In order to get to the video analysis functions, you need to click down here on these 3 little red dots with the arrow. So click there, and it should bring up a side menu that looks like this. Now, before we start to plot points on the video, we need to set a couple things. First of all, we're going to set an origin. That's this button here. Click that one, and you can set an origin wherever you want to set your origin. You could set it in the middle, the side, this side. I'm just going to go ahead and put my origin right on the start line for the blue buggy, but you can do whatever it is that you want. So just like that. And now let's put the origin inside of there. If I wanted to, I could drag this origin and angle it, but I like it going straight across like this. So here's my positive x-axis going this way. Here's my positive y-axis going this way. The next thing we need to do is we need to set a distance. So that's this thing over here that looks like a meter stick. So now we're going to click and drag and select a known distance. So I'm going to just do this meter stick right here. So I'm going to click and drag along here and let it go right there. And that's a meter stick, so I'm just going to put it as 1 meter. Now you can drag the whole distance for the whole thing, and I think it was 1.8 or 1.9 meters or whatever it is that you want to do, but it was convenient that there was a meter stick in this screen, so I'm just going to use it right there, 1 meter. So now I've set the distance and I've set the origin. Now I'm ready to start plotting some points. So I want to select this option up here. This is for plotting points. And I have to be careful now. If I click on the screen down here, I'm going to start to plot a point. And it's very tricky to go back and undo things in Logger Pro. So if you aren't paying attention and you click a random point, it might mess up your video. What I want to do is a couple things here. First of all, I'm going to take this little slider down here. I'm going to drag this forward until just when my buggies are about to move. Otherwise, I'm going to be clicking points for a long time while the buggies are stationary. So this is the part of the video where they haven't let go yet. And I'm going to scooch it back to maybe like right there, right when the right when the buggies are just starting. So like right there. And then I'm going to do one more thing before I start plotting points. I'm going to go up here into Options and Movie Options. And then a couple things I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to click right here where it says First Video Analysis Point defines movie 0 time. That means the first time I click to make points on my video is going to make it times 0. Otherwise, times 0 is going to be way back at the beginning of the video when we weren't even plotting points. So I'm going to select that one. And then just to make it a little bit easier so I don't have to plot as many points, I'm going to make this one advance the movie. I'm going to say like 3 frames for every time I add a new point. That way it's just a little bit quicker. I don't have to click quite as many times on my video. So I click OK here. And now I'm ready to start plotting some points. So I think I would suggest starting on the blue buggy because I believe that Logger Pro is going to plot blue points first. So if your blue buggy's on this side or on this side, it doesn't really matter, but let's start plotting on the blue buggy so there's blue points on the blue buggy. It doesn't really matter what the color of the points are, it's just easier for your brain, I think. So I need to pick a spot on the buggy that I'm going to keep clicking consistently. So for me, let's go for this little yellow flower right there. When I click it, the movie is going to advance forward 3 frames, and then I just have to track this and keep clicking on that same flower. And it's a little bit tedious, but the red buggy is going to go a little faster, so it'll be a little easier on the red buggy when we get to there. So I just keep clicking on that flower. You see how the buggy's moving, the buggy's moving, the buggy's moving. So like I said, it's a little bit tedious, but you just have to go through this process. Clicking. Wanting to do a good job. I'm kind of rushing here, I think, but the better of a job you do, the better your graph will be. And I want to keep going until the buggies collide. And if they miss each other, I'm going to just click one more point after the buggies collide. If your buggies miss, because that happened with some groups, then just stop clicking once the buggies get past each other. Now, in order to not mess up the rest of my video, I'm going to come back over here and just click on this little white selector arrow button. That way, if I happen to errantly click in the middle of the screen, it's not going to change anything. So there's my blue buggy moving along. And now I need to plot points for my red buggy. So I'm going to take my video slider down here, and I'm going to drag this back to where the buggies are just barely starting to move. And looks like maybe about right there or so. Yep. Now I need to make a new plot, a new set of points to plot. I don't want to plot blue points because I already did the blue points. So this menu over here will let me add in a point series. Very, very important that you do this. So I want to add in a point series, and now I'm ready to plot for the other car. It could be the red or the blue one, doesn't really matter, but I believe LoggerPro is going to plot red points on this second set, and I haven't figured out how to change those. So I'm going to come over to my red buggy. I'll just click on that same flower, so I click there, and once again, see it's plotting red points. But if you're plotting red points on your blue buggy, then don't worry about it. The color doesn't really matter. And by the way, this is where I'm saving time by doing that advance the movie 3 frames per click, because otherwise I would have been doing 3 times as many points. If you want, you could do 5 frames per click, I guess. And I'm just going to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until they collide. Boom, and maybe I'll just do one more for good measure. Boom. Once again, I'm going to click back up here on this white arrow. That's just to make sure I don't click an errant point. So there's all my points plotted. Now what's going to be interesting about this is looking at the graphs that you do. So I can look at the graphs by kind of dragging this over, but the easiest thing to do is to use a keyboard function, which is Command R. Command R is going to resize all of your windows and fit them all in the same space. So I'm going to do Command R, and that's going to resize all my windows. So now I have my video, I've got my points that I plotted, and I've got my graphs over here. So that's really all you need to do at this point. We're going to take a look at these graphs and see what they mean as a class, and I'll have you do a further homework assignment to analyze it. But for now, if you got that far, that's really great. If you need to go back and change something, you can always drag this video window open and try to fix things if you need to fix things. Once again, Command R is going to resize all my windows. Yep. Very, very important last step here. Make sure you do File, Save. It's not going to automatically save it. Good, so File, Save. And you want to save this as something that you're going to remember. I'm going to put mine on the desktop, I think. Desktop, and I'm going to call this, I don't know, Buggy Video. Ooh, that's not how you spell that. Buggy Video Analysis, or something like that. Buggy Video Analysis. It's not going to automatically save. It's not like a Google Doc. So LoggerPro would like access to the desktop. Great, good. So now it's going to save this, and it changed the name up at the top here. So now it says Buggy Video Analysis. So you need to make sure File Save. You can save it in the middle if you want. Just keep going File Save. If you don't save it and you close this window, it's going to delete everything, and that's not good. So that's it. Make sure you subscribe if you like this video. Hit the like button. And I'll see you all next time. Bye. That was a joke.